All right, to kick this off, I'll do a little intro because this is going to be watched live and it's also going to be posted on YouTube for you guys to check out. If you're finished with Stranger Things Season 4 and you want to discuss one of the main topics I would like to discuss, we are going to talk about the entire season, so if you haven't watched it, we will be spoiling it. One main thing I want to discuss with my review for it is, was it dark enough? Because that seems to be a lot of chatter. Even some of the actors were talking about it being dark enough. Now, you guys live, let me know if you can see me good, hear me good. If you are new here, this channel is going through a bit of a transition, so we're playing around with different types of content. I did streams like this similar to The Walking Dead, where the first half of this video will be my thoughts and opinions. We do have text-to-speech up for donations, so if the tips come in, those will be text-to-speech. Will take a minute, but then after I'm done for about 10 to 20 minutes, we're going to go into the chat and see what you guys have to say for your thoughts and opinions, so it's kind of like an interactive review. But if you just want my thoughts and opinions, it's in the very beginning, so stay put. I'm about to dive into my initial thoughts and opinions, and then we'll get into the chat. What I will do is, and you can ask me any questions you want. I will pop out the chat every now and then just to give you an idea of what's going on, just to throw it on screen until we show some clips, because I do want to skim through some of the episodes so we get names and kind of talk about each episode. Well, I'm going to jump right into it after confirming my signal is good. Yo, what's up, chat? It looks like you guys can see me good, hear me good on my end. Everything's a go. So, all right, we're going to dive into my review portion of Stranger Things Season 4. Getting right to the heart of it, I did like it, and I do kind of, I don't want to say sit on the fence, but I am kind of a bit mixed with the main theme of, was it dark enough? Should we have a main character death? Should we have something? Now, they went there's two aspects of that I want to talk about. One thing is to show why, like, I'm a bit on the fence, is the entire theme or vibe of Stranger Things kind of keeps that classic 80s, the Goonies and, similar types of entertainment like Goonies, E.T., and everything else it pulls from. It's very nostalgic for capturing the 80s and also the vibe of the entertainment in that time. So obviously the Goonies didn't have dark deaths and stuff, and I'm using that as one slim example of everything else that's kind of, that they pay homage, kind of inspired. Stranger Things is like an amalgamation of inspiration from all these different nostalgic classics from back in the day. Oddly enough, Season 4 reminded me a ton of It, and It didn't come out until 1990, but with the house, they had the house in It, and they have the house in this. And not only that, but I got a lot of Nightmare on Elm Street, which did come out in the 80s. I think that first released in 85, 86. And that was, touch base with Vecna and being in your dreams. Is it a dream, a hallucination? I mean, that really hit the nose on Nightmare on Elm Street. And it's obviously on purpose. They even cast the original Freddy Krueger as the father of Vecna in this, the guy who had the scars on his eyes that cut out his eyes when they went in the past and they showcased the origin of Vecna, how that all ties into it. And that's why I'm on the fence. Yes, I do think that nowadays, in our day and age, for a property like this to come out with something real dark, yet still keep an essence of it that we love, I think it's very well possible, and it's possible for us as consumers to enjoy that, even though we might have like a main character death. But in the same strength, on that flip side, it fits with the vibe to keep it dark, but also not too dark, so it kind of keeps that I don't want to make it seem flaky, like that good feeling or good vibe or enjoyment, but it keeps the mood balanced well. And I think they did a good job, although I do enjoy a little darker aspect of it. So I would kind of prefer maybe a major death coming up to really shake things up and finish off season 5. We could have got it with season 4. Going back to one of the aspects that they did do of season 4 finale as far as dark is something that I've talked about before. You don't have to, and this is where people get mistaken with The Walking Dead, you don't have to kill a character to do a dark, impactful, holy shit moment. Even when it comes to butchering a character, wounding a character, I mean, shaking up their entire world. If it's a mafia story, you have a character where they're the king of the city, and then you rip everything from them. That you don't have to kill the character. That changes everything. A character in Game of Thrones, you line him up, you chop his hand off, you butcher him. Boom, he was one of the greatest swords fighters, and now you just chopped his arm off. Instantly changes the character and the world around him and everything after that. It's like a tidal wave. We get that to a degree in this with Max. Max had a very brutal end, and I loved it. Lucas, the actor playing Max, crushed it, that emotional moment at the very end. So that aspect, and I'm just covering this, it's a bit about the very end of the season 4, but it ties into the darkness factor. I am fine with it getting darker. Me personally, I want to hear your thoughts. However, on the flip side, I do feel like there's a very thin balance of the mood that they need to keep it in mind, and they need to what's the word I'm looking for? Execute that. No pun intended. They need to execute that, being very careful not to cross that line, I feel, at least for the masses. But I'm cool with getting a lot of deaths. Let me just make sure here we have I appreciate that. Okay, so you guys can see me good and hear me good. We have some Mind Media. What kind of question is that? We're doing a video solely on Stranger Things Season 4, and he's like, so what'd you think about Stranger Things Season 4? Mind, get your mind right. All right, we're going to get, like I said, if you're just getting here now, we're going to get to the comments after my review. So if you're like, wait, Ronnie's not listening to me, relax, calm down. I'm going to scroll through the comments in a minute. Now, let me back it up some, and let's go through some of the episodes just real quick. This is the end of the episode 1 of season 4, and this is where I was like, all right, something feels a little darker in this season than in previous seasons, and I felt like they were preparing us for something. Now, I thought it was going to be a death. I thought it was, and we did get deaths. Don't, I'm not overlooking anybody, because the character that died was actually a character I grew to really like. A lot of people, fan favorites, a fan favorite, a lot of people ended up really liking Eddie. Now, when it came to what they set up, I honestly thought they were tricking us with Eddie. It was so obvious. And even though it was predictable, Eddie, Max being broken but not killed, and Eddie going, Max being broken, and there was something else. There was 3 parts to that. I even talked to my daughter before they released the final 2 episodes, and I was like, because she was convinced Eddie was going to go, Max was going to be broken or killed, and something else. There was something friggin' else. Anyway, I was like, you know what? It's set up too perfect to be that. That has to be a decoy, and they're going to kill Steve. I could have sworn it's going to be a decoy because it's too obvious. But as it unfolded, I was like, oh shit, they're literally giving us what they showed us they were going to give us from the very beginning. I mean, everything, even Max being lifted up, there was something in there where it was like, I don't know if it was a coincidence, but you could tell it was kind of an Easter egg, accidental or on purpose, that she was going to get at least a bone or some bones broken, like she herself was going to get broken. But anyhow, this very first end of the episode really kicked it off for how dark it could. Yeah, that is loud. To how dark it could potentially get. I got to be careful here because of the copyright system. But having Eddie trying to wake her up and having them connect, just the environment, the atmosphere, having them connect, even her wearing a skirt, cheerleader, bubbly, usually good kids, it's kind of like a cliche. They're good kids, maybe party. Yeah, there's all types of cliche for it. But even putting her in a skirt, there's just something about having just the flesh breaking. I thought it added an extra bit of dark and like gruesomeness to it. They went in up close with her jaw breaking. They went in up close with her friggin'. They did up close for the boy's jaw breaking, the geeky kid with glasses, but then they did the up close for her getting her eyes sucked out. I mean, that shit was probably, unless I'm mistaken something, one of the darker aspects in Stranger Things. And as soon as it kicked it off, I was like, yo, all right, I'm down for this. Yeah, they did do the jaw for her. Yeah, that's exactly what I would be like in that moment. I'd be like, what the fuck is this shit? And then he sucks her eyes out. So this ends the first episode, and this is after setting it all up. The first episode really nailed it home for me as setting it up for a good season to come, and it felt crafted with love. Them having a moment in the woods where Eddie and the cheerleader, they knew each other from before. I think they were old classmates. I forget the details, but they share a moment. She's in a dark, depressed state in her life, but he's able to get her to smile and laugh for a moment and be at ease. And then immediately following that, you get that. The shit is pretty dark, and it's crafted very well. Setting up the D&D, which is something in real life. You had a bunch of religious nut jobs freaking out that D&D. And even today, you get people saying video games turn people into serial killers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's ridiculous. And then, so they draw from real life experiences from the past, even in real life, and they're pulling homages from the TV shows and movies at the time, pop culture at the time. I freaking loved it, but it's set up nicely. The one thing I don't like and I didn't like throughout it, I didn't hate it, but it's not something that it's something where I would prefer a change, but I didn't hate it. And that is how the characters are split up. Now, they do make a point of saying they enjoy taking characters that aren't normally together and then putting them together, teaming them up. And they did something good with a previous season 2, with Steve and Dustin, putting them together, and it worked really well, and it created this iconic friendship out of them too. Steve being like the older friend type of to get advice to, kind of like an older brother, older best friend. He chills out with his friends, but then he's got his older friend to get some advice from. That kicked off something that changed the dynamic of the group, but also did really well story-wise. However, I think it goes overdosing a bit too much, especially when we had a moment where we were going to get Steve and Nancy back, not even as a couple. I don't give a shit about that, but I cared about them going on a mission together. And I thought, man, you know what? It was her and Jonathan in 1, and she was dating Steve. Having Steve and her in 2 doing this little mission, I got excited for it for a minute, but then Robin was like, no, I'll go with her. And I was put off a bit. I'm like, sometimes Robin is a character where I'm digging her, I like her, and then sometimes I'm like, just shut up and move over. It's like, come on. So she's a character I'm on the fence with. Sometimes I like, sometimes I don't. I think they made a mistake putting Hopper in Russia. I want Hopper to be here. I want Hopper to be this guy. I like this actor, but he ends up just being forgotten. He's like, oh, we need to do an investigation. And this is something I also liked, where a lot of season 4 is season 1. Sorry. In season 1, it kicks off with them playing D&D. In season 4, they got this D&D game going on. And then you have Will, getting taken by the Demogorgon. You got Chrissy being taken by Vecna. You got in season 1, episode 1, 2, and 3, there's Hopper doing this investigation. What's going on in town? In season 4, episode 1, 2, 3, you got, I forget his name, but this guy's the new cop who, he was in season 1, but he moved up in ranks. He took Hopper's spot, and now he's doing the investigation. There's a part of me that really missed the fact that Hopper should have been here. I felt like, man, I I think the whole Russia thing was just a mistake. If you would have just scrapped the Russia thing, done something slightly different, but have Hopper back, put Hopper in this spot leading the investigation with his right-hand man, this guy right here, and then have them connected, bring his character on some, flesh his character out, and his character could potentially even have been a Dark Death in the end. You know, he was not convinced at all. He starts thinking Hopper's losing it, but then eventually he sees what's going on, and you know, he could sacrifice his life to, you know, get more from this character. But I wanted Hopper here in Russia. Some of the stuff I do enjoy. I like the actors that played the one Russian guy that was also in Game of Thrones. He was the guy who changed his face. I liked him a lot in Game of Thrones. He's in this. I like him a lot in this. I just don't care too much about the Russia storyline. I like the friggin' Demogorgons there. I like how they have a gate there. I do like a good amount of stuff that ended up springing from it. Not a real big fan of Yuri, to be honest. He seems kind of like that dopey, funny kind of guy that's in there. We already got this stoner, and I got sick of Yuri after a while. Luckily, he's not in it too much. Episode 2 starts to unfolds more of the story and put the characters into position, because we got to get Mike out to visit 11. We got to get 11 to be visited by the doctor, kind of set up what's going on. Episode 3 continues that to some degree. I'm not going to go episode to episode, but there is one thing I didn't want to miss. Yeah, episode 3 kind of starts getting deeper into the character work. Yeah, this is the one where the doctor, 11 and how she's doing, her backstory with Vecna. It sets it up like 11 is the one that killed all the kids. And that's something that I got to give myself a pat on the back. I thought at first, I was like, yo, that changes shit big time. If 11 killed all the kids and she has this dark side to her, that we could see Brenner in a different light. I dig that idea. Then I sat with that idea for a minute, and something didn't sit right with me. There was something about it where I was like, story-wise, I can't see that play out. And in the back of my mind, I was like, no, I guarantee 11's going to be the one to save them from whoever killed them. And it's a big twist coming. And I was right on the money. And I love that aspect of it. Just because having 11 be the one that killed, immediately I loved the idea, but then it gnawed at me. I was like, something about that isn't right. They showed that, by the way, like 2 weeks early before they showed the rest of the season. That's why it was gnawing on my brain. I was like, that can't be right. Setting up Lucas being on the football team and then having him separate and then reunite with his friends. I think that was cool, especially because they set up that jock who, again, is one of those more complex characters where he's not all bad, but he gets lost in this paranoid thought, and he's a bit of a dick. He's a bit self-centered and selfish, and I love the fact that he gets split open. I missed it. My daughter had to remind me. I was like, it's a shame that Jock got away. She was like, what do you mean he was ripped in half? I had to go back and rewatch it. And I was like, yes, because I missed it the first time around. Anyhow, so they're all split up and they're running into teams. Dear Billy was a really good one. It has a really bomb-ass ending to it, where we get into the emotional side and the state of mind of Max after losing Billy. And the truth of it is, they embrace, and this is something I loved a lot. They don't just sugarcoat. Billy sacrificed himself to actually save Max, but they do accept and capitalize on the fact that most of the times people aren't pure evil. You can have a total asshole stepbrother, but then it doesn't mean he's a murdering psycho. That stepbrother might not be like, I can't stand my stepsister, I'm going to be a complete asshole and dickhead to her. But then it's like, okay, well, walk away and let her get butchered. And then he's like, well, wait, hold on. I'm a dick, but I don't want to see her get brutally murdered. What the fuck, There's the complexities within the human characters that I do like, instead of just being all evil, like, oh, she's going to get murdered by this creature? Fuck it, whatever. I'm the dickhead. And with that, Max has mixed feelings and emotions about it too, where she did want him to to die. Even before all this shit popped off, she just wanted him gone. Whether he leaves, dies, has a car accident, and she comes right out and says it. She's like, man, I wanted him to have a fiery wreck so many times to just be out of my life. And then when she has that moment, she has a bit of hesitation. He ended up actually dying by sacrificing himself. And imagine that type of survivor's guilt, where you wanted somebody dead, but in the end, that person, as much of a dick as they were and a piece of shit to you and a piece of shit in general, they didn't cross that particular line. That complicated stuff to deal with, especially for a young character-wise, a young person like Max. Fucking loved all that. And then they do a powerful ending where she's in the world with Vecna. Let me pull up this one scene. She's in the world with Vecna. I think that's after the fact. Yeah, I can't play it now. Well, I can't do the music now. Yeah, she starts floating up. That shit was bomb. And the music is great. Look up the music. I'll play a little second of it. Well, no, that's the, it's the Runaway music. Yeah, that music. Look that up. That shit is fire. The way she raises. So episode 4, was it? Yeah, that shit hit heavy. The Nina project, again, with the characters, put more puzzle pieces together. And this starts to actually put the characters in position with what they're going to do. The dive act was one I did like, because I believe that's the one where they're looking for the gate. After putting the pieces together, they find the other gate. And they figure out, I think coming up, they figure out that each person being killed by Vecna is opening a little gate. Vecna killed the one basketball player on the water, so this opens up that gate on the water. Oh my God, what's his name? Steve gets pulled under. Nancy dives in. Nancy's a character I really do like. Skinny, weak, frail little Nancy. And I do appreciate her having the eye, the marksman. I liked that in season 1. I liked her look in season 1. I still think McFarlane Toys blew it by creating Stranger Things figures and not doing a Nancy in the corduroy coat. It was corduroy, right? That brown, kind of reddish brown coat with a shotgun. I think she had a shotgun and a baseball bat, ponytail, slick back, little Nancy. That shit would have been on and popping, because it's a cool look. Visually, it's cool as shit. They do another visual look to her here, and she gets a shotgun, and you get little Nancy kicking ass. And also diving into the water. Eddie was right. I was like, when he was talking to Steve about how as soon as you were in trouble, Nancy didn't even think. She was like, yo, wait here, and she went right in the water after you. But that's when I thought maybe there's a chance they are going to murk Steve, because that one moment where the bats were digging at him and he looked like he had an infected belly. Yeah, this moment, bats are going nuts. Does Nancy have a one-liner here?
Hey there.
Yeah, hey there. It's on 1.5 speed, so if it seems like it's a little fast, that's why. But dig this group together, and Eddie, his inclusion with it. This just reveals Elle and her backstory to some degree. They're talking to them in the Upside Down. That's something that I've always liked. And it's something that they kicked off with Will. Again, remember, a lot of things in season 1 are mirrored, or I don't know what's the best way to put it. They're not redone, but it's done in a clever way, in an interesting way, and it's done in an organic way, like how Will was using the lights to signal. They're utilizing what they know from the Upside Down, and now they're utilizing this device to signal and speak to them. And again, a lot of the stuff we've done in season 1, it's not like they're doing the same thing over again. It's just done in a way that is, it goes with the theme of the beginning of the end. That's the point I'm making about how that I feel isn't repetitive, but it actually fits with the theme and the crafting of the storyline here. I like the actor, I forget his name, who plays Vecna. He's getting a lot of hype on social media, and there's definitely an understanding there because he crushed it. The new actors all crushed it. Even Chrissy was only in it for a little bit. A lot of people wanted her to carry on. I think I heard the Duffer Brothers even say she was one character that they regretted killing, but this guy,
For the first time in your life, you will be free.
yeah, he crushed it. He did an absolute great job. And I love this shit too, because it doesn't just retcon what we've seen in season 1, but this is the origin. Now, I would love to know if the Duffer Brothers had an idea of this creating the origin for the gate originally, but this is the origin of the gate. When 11 snaps out, I don't know if she did it yet. Oh, it might come later. I think it comes in a different episode. But she snaps out of it. It might be in this episode. We don't have to find it, but she loses her shit, gets pissed at 1, and she slaps him up against the wall, but then opens up the gate to another dimension, and she sends his ass. She says, fuck sending you to hell. He pissed her off so much, she sent that motherfucker to a hell in a different dimension. Like, she's not playing any games. Anyhow, so she sent them off, and let me just double check that here. We should have gotten a pop-up. There might be something wrong with the... let me do the... Oh, we did get a pop-up. Okay, like I said, we'll get to the comments in a minute. I'm almost done with the review, so hang tight. I appreciate the dono, but let's get back to the episode. Now, there's some funny stuff going on with Will and Mike, and it definitely feels like it's clear. There was a little cute girl. I was gonna say, come on, Will, you that girl's a cutie, go for it. And I think she like touched his leg, and he was like, ew, no, gross. I like cock, But yeah, Will's gay. So a lot of people are running off with this weird thing that he's gay and he's in love with Mike. I don't know their obsession with gay people being in love with straight men. I don't understand that shit. Anyway, I got the vibe that, and I think from an interview with the Duffer Brothers, the way they explained it in a similar way is Will is afraid that Mike won't be best friends, or it'll affect their friendship if he finds out that Will is gay. I think it's a bit overdosing, because it's the cliche gay kid dealing with it, coming out to his best friends type that. Again, it's 2022. Everyone laughed and said that they would make him gay. And then everyone turned around and said, man, you guys claim that they say that and everything, and then now they made him gay. And it's like, well, what are you going to say now? I don't know what to tell you. I don't want to get into this feud. It's just, it's stuffed in there. I don't think it came out right, but if they want to go that direction, here we are. It's done well enough in this episode. It doesn't stop the story and the theme and everything that's going on. It hints at it, and it keeps it there. It's relevant, but it's not like overtaking the story, because again, that really wouldn't make sense. I don't think he would actually be rushing into danger and death and then suddenly be like, oh, I might die in 5 minutes, but oh no, my friend might be... It's just a bit ridiculous. That could be something where I can definitely see it calming down and then that coming back up again, and then they can tackle it then, absolutely. He has a nice scene with his brother, though. They gave him a stupid haircut. The Duffer Brothers make a lot of incredible decisions on the show. This haircut is something I believe the actor didn't want, and I think they should have listened to him. They went with something that, sure, it feels like a little clean cut for the times, but it's terrible. Visually, it's terrible. He looks fucking terrible. And I think that's a shame, because Will is one of my favorites from season 1. He just had a lot of charm and charisma. Little Will with the puppy dog eyes, being gobbled up by the Demogorgon. Is he dead? Is he alive? No, he's alive. They got to be reunited with their best friend, and how that ended, I thought it was great. I do want to see them utilize him more in season 5. He feels like they don't have anything else for him. I'm going to be blunt. It feels like they don't have anything else for him after season 3, when he was with him. And no, was that season 2? It doesn't matter. Yeah, that was season 2. It feels like they lost touch with what to do with Will. So they said, oh no, let's just make him gay. Sorry, but that's how it feels. Anyhow, Then you have more of this setting up for the finale. Hopper wants to decide to help them out. I feel like that was a bit disjointed, and that was their only option because they're in Russia. I didn't love it, didn't hate it. It is what it is. But we get to episode 9, which was fan-fucking-tastic. You had a good amount of tension, of fighting, great CGI, great practical effects. And again, great CGI given everything's going to seem dated. Nothing was perfect. Great enough for a show without them going ridiculous, because I think they already spent a shit ton of money putting this together. But even with the cast separated, they do come back together in an end for an extended end, it felt like. And I'm hoping for more connectivity in season 5. However, I don't feel like that's something we're going to get. They do feel like they keep spreading them around. Maybe it has something to do with just how they film and whatnot. But I do want to see more of them together as a whole instead of keep splitting them up into little sections. But the Vecna fight, there was, again, some cool shit to it. I was a little bit underwhelmed because it just kind of felt like, just some yelling. I don't know. But again, it's a guy in a real suit sitting for hours putting his real makeup shit on. So I felt like it could have been better, but I'm happy with what we got. And it was clever having 11 piggyback from her memories. I do want to make a mention of that because I think that was actually clever when I was thinking about how, because of the distance, are they going to connect? Her piggybacking was great. I ran my mouth for 30 minutes. I'm going to shut up, and we're going to get into the chat. But those are my thoughts and opinions. I do want to mention one last thing. I love how Hawkins was rocked, though. And I do love the little finale that when Vecna said, you think you won, but you've already lost. This is the beginning of that. Will can sense it. My personal feeling and prediction of, and she leaves the door 3 inches open. That's something my daughter caught. She caught that in a different episode. I think she caught it in one of the earlier episodes. 11 was sleeping and they showed the door was open. Anyway, she had said that and I was like, I didn't even catch that. But having this ending where shit is going to get fucked up. Yeah, I dig it. So, anyway, those are my thoughts and opinions on Stranger Things Season 4. I really liked it. There's stuff about it that I'm not thrilled about. However, I'm extremely excited to see how it ends. Let me say this real quick, too. Them aging was something I was really worried about. I thought it would look ridiculous and come off bad. And it actually works well. And funny enough, it fits. Like, this isn't Walking Dead where the characters go from 1 week to the next between seasons and they grew a year. The kid went from being like, hey, I'm Carl, to what's up, Dad, the next year. And in the show, it's a week later. In this, it's actually years later. You get a year goes by, 7 months goes by. Well, the same thing's happening in real life. So the characters are actually aging and growing, maybe not perfectly. The real life people are growing and aging similar, as close enough to the characters to where I don't mind it. It actually fits. Anyhow, that's my thoughts and opinions for Stranger Things. I'm going to go into the comment box here. I know we had a dono come in. Let me get that real quick and get it on the leaderboard. I wasn't even going to do a leaderboard for the Speaker Geek kind of podcast. Maybe we're going to do some more of these, but let me pop it up. Where is it at? Gaming just tipped one dono saying, are you gaming tonight? Or no gaming tonight. This is it. We're going to try to do a gaming stream tomorrow night, though. Let me put on the tip goal. We got $1. You know what? I'm not even going to put the tip goal because there's no extending this. We're only going another, 10, 20, 30 minutes at the most, and then this is getting shut down. I want to keep these under between 45 minutes to an hour. So let me hurry up and just put gaming here And let's get to the comment box. I don't know what happened. My power went out and my keyboard randomly doesn't work sometimes. Okay, so let's jump up real quick. Mind Media had a question. What did you think of breakthrough of one coming to light, the way it unfolded? I'm not really sure what you're trying to say there. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Are you talking about Stranger Things? What did you think about Vecna's overall appearance? I love the CGI as well as the actor's low vocal performance. I liked it a lot. I like how it looks great, but it also has that old-fashioned feel of a guy in a suit, you know? And so many shows and movies are afraid to do that, and I love it here. I mean, I give it to me all day, every day, all the time. Yeah, Gregory, I do think excuse me, I don't mean to chug a drink, but I got thirsty. I do think season 4 was an improvement over season 3. I still don't hate any season. I think I love 1, obviously. At this point, 1 is the champ. 1 starts it, you know? It's probably 1, 2, 4, and 3 for me. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, probably 1, 2, 4, and 3. I'd have to double check with 2. It might even be 1, 4, 2, and 3, but that would probably be where I set. But I'm usually mixed with everything. 1, I absolutely love 1. 1, I think, is cinematic art. 2, 3, and 4, I am a lot of love. Some things I dislike. I love how they were able to move all the different pieces around independently and set up everything so nicely for season 5. Yeah. Here's one thing, though. The end of season 3, I don't like at all because the Hopper shit, I don't like the Russia shit. I think it was a mistake to take Hopper out. I thought it was a cheap way for them to say, we can't kill anyone. We can't even hurt anyone. Let's fake Hopper's death. Anyway, and on top of that, even sending people to move, like 11 moving and shit, none of it fucking matters. I mean, even in this, if they were living in the same area, they got separated anyhow. You know, 11 got taken to an underground facility, and they could have been separated some other different way. Just moving having them move, I don't know. Now I really dislike the way they ended season 3. I don't hate it, but I just think it's just pointless. Anyhow, maybe I can look back on it with character work. At least it does something for the characters. And I love that 11 smashed that bitch's face, too. That was great. I remember the Devil Worshipper scare. Yeah, I heard about it. I did not grow up with Dungeons and Dragons. I heard of it. I was never really into cards and games like that, so I never went near it. Plus, it was a little bit before my time. I'm worried they won't be able to top season 4, having so much longer to write a good story, 3 years to film, and all the money spent. Well, don't worry, unless I read the article wrong. They wrote season 4 and 5 story-wise back to back. So I think there was a problem. They were supposed to film season 5 right away. I just read that article. However, they took a break. So that's why you see them on the hill and shit is hitting the fan. There was not supposed to be a time jump. They're supposed to go right into 4 and 5 as one long season. However, they did have to split it up. So will they rewrite it? I don't think so. Because like I said, in that article, they already have the story for 4. Maybe not detailed, but they have it. I'm glad they brought Real Hopper back. His constant bickering with Joyce in season 3 was insufferable. Yeah, if Hopper, could be some seasons of yeah, they should have shortened the Russia storyline. Yeah, Yuri wore out his welcome for me as well. I can see them forcing more seasons. Theo, they're not going to do that, and they don't have to do that because they have the franchise. They could just do spin-offs. Listen, if they do more seasons, what are they going to have to do? pay the actors more money. How is that going to be a problem? They're young. They're going to want to diversify their resume, and they're going to want to try to take bigger financial contracts with other movies based off of the success and popularity of Stranger Things and other work that they were in, whatever it may be. Now, Netflix can't afford to pay, 7 blown up actors, that are top of the game right now, top of the market. That's how Hollywood works. They go, oh my God, there's a lot of people are fans of Millie Bobby Brown right now. Quick, throw a fuck ton of money at her, throw her in this shit movie. And then, and that's usually how their careers crumble like a motherfucker. But that's besides the point. Netflix can't sustain that financially, and they know it. If I know it, I barely know what's going on in my own life. If I know it, they're well aware of that. What they'll do is go to spin-offs, new characters, less pay, because then they can hire, hey, Ronnie Hayes, you want to be in Stranger Things spin-off? Yeah, here's a fucking peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Let's go. And I'll be like, can I have ham and cheese? They'll say no, and I'll fucking go anyway. If they do a spin-off with lower pay, they'll fucking have a lot more money, and they can jumpstart new faces, new interests, yada, yada, yada. Utilizing maybe 1 or 2 people from the original show or totally new. But spin-offs seem to be the game right now. Anyway, laugh out loud, I felt a teensy bit bad for the jock guy. Total asshole, but he thought his girlfriend and teammate were murdered by a cult, and he died thinking that. Yeah, but fuck him, he wasn't being rational. That's how I felt. Wearing my Metallica shirt to the mall yesterday. Oh my God, the 12-year-olds have gone nuts for them. Yeah, it's so funny seeing it different, though, because things have a way to return. I was just talking about that today because I was joking about how back in the 90s, Jenko jeans, you ever hear of them? Skaters used to wear them. I had friends and family that used to wear them. They were just huge, like samurai jeans. That's how they looked. Anyway, my mother was laughing, and she had said that when she was growing up, like 20 years before that, or no, it would have been 15 years before that, those jeans were fucking the quick fad that burned out real fast. And it must have been like that where, I don't know how, but someone bought vintage jeans, it caught on, and they started making them. That was a new fad, so it was a fad that burned out twice. Anyway, a lot of these fads do that, but that's besides the point. For sure, Dr. Death, I'm right here with you. I kind of felt bad for Jason. He lost his girlfriend and all until he pulled a gun on Lucas. Yeah, he can fuck off. I agree. They even forgot his birthday. The Duffer Brothers said it. Who? Run It Up the Hill lyrics really fit after season 4 and 9. Oh, seeing 4 and 9. Yeah, I agree about Will. It seems like they ran out of stuff for Will. Yeah, it does, right? The day 11 got bullied at the skating ring. It was his birthday from season 2. Oh, no shit. Yeah, something like 30 mil per episode, and inflation is hurting everyone. No, this is Chrissy 11 royally screwed you. Wait, this is for Chrissy 11 royally screwed up. Oh, by essentially creating that. I like Steve a lot. As dumb as it was, the sword being there, that shit was fire. I didn't mind because they threw weapons to joke at the people to fight. I didn't mind it at all because the sword was just there to make the people think they had a fighting chance against the Demogorgon when they didn't. Series fell apart after moving to another city. Seriously, the whole atmosphere was very lost. For example, in that moment, Ape banging on his mouth with his hammer, the opposite of blood. What? Should have been a fucking indication that something is wrong. No more comedy of pain to chase after, could there? But of course, the series doesn't need to be called Stranger Things. I'm not sure. I'm picking up what you're saying though, bud. I'm done with The Walking Dead, bud. You make Walking Dead content, Steven. I'm done with it though. It's not my show anymore. Mike deserves better. He was good in season 1 and 2. I get his arc is supposed to be it, but it feels like being told and shown. Yeah, they're kind of losing a little. Mike's another one they kind of lost a little bit. In this, they tried saying, you're the heart, but when you have to have them being led around and protected, and you kind of lose that because he doesn't do anything, but at the very end, he kind of is the hype man for 11, which again, when you're having a cast like this is why it gets tricky. And we're going to talk a little bit about the boys in a different video. They have a similar problem as well, where it comes to, well, what do you do about this? Like, you have non-superhero peoples, and they're going to fight superheroes. Well, eventually something's got to give, you know? It's the same thing here. You have 11 who has the powers, and you have everyone else who doesn't have the powers. Well, they're going to have to utilize some shit. And Mike just didn't have shit in this to utilize except that one moment. And sometimes you're not going to get everyone to be able to have a moment. That's just how it is. Do you think Max is in a coma for good? No, I think they'll pull Max out. Or does Vecna Mind Flayer have control of her mind? I remember Elle went in her head and it was pitch black. No, by how it ended with 11 and them and 11 saying, no, he's not going to take you, yada, yada, yada. I do personally have a feeling that she's going to come back. She's going to need to recuperate, but she's going to be able to see what Vecna sees or some shit like that. Or have some sort of connection to Vecna, similar to how Will has a connection to the Upside Down just from being there and spitting out the slugs. And he can still sense it now. I think she's going to have some sort of connection. And that'll be a way to utilize Will and her for the finale. And because here's the thing. If they were going to kill her, they would have. Having her go into a coma and then just slip away and die is probably one of the most underwhelming things you could possibly do to any character. I just don't see that making any sense. Yeah, they're making a spinoff. Jenkos. Since Max is so banged up and unconscious, do you think we'll mainly just see her character in this Upside Down next? Well, here's the thing. Now they're not doing 4 and 5 right after each other, so there's a chance we get a time skip. She could heal in the middle, and we can see her come out of the coma and starting to, get on her feet. I don't know. Or she could be in a wheelchair for a good amount of it. It depends on what they need her to do for that. A wheelchair for her might mix it up a bit, might add some struggles to how do they get her around, how do they flee, I don't know. Well, I liked Will a lot in the early seasons. Now he's not really doing much. Eddie and Chrissy had more chemistry in 5 minutes than Jonathan and Nancy in season 4. Yeah, Jonathan had I don't know, man. He had a really stupid haircut, too. Him and Will got the shaft, man. And his character also felt like they needed them to just step aside for a little bit. So they were like, okay, here, you're over here, goodbye. And I'm not even vibing with Jonathan and Nancy as much, that connection. I felt like it lost the spark somewhat. I wish they didn't kill Eddie. The Metallica scene was the best. Yeah, a lot of people wish they didn't kill Eddie. Do you think partially why they're afraid of going too dark with the shows because a large portion of the fan base is so young? It's very possible. I can see them playing a bit of a factor. I could definitely see that playing a factor in it, yeah. Thanks for the Q&A. Awesome chat and stream review. No problem. Thank you guys very much. I want to be able to do this with a few different topics as long as you guys will support it. It's not going to be always streams, though, so there won't be a chat interaction with some of them. Like when I go to watch a movie, if I only have time to do like a 10-15 minute review, they'll be under the title Speak Your Geek. We have one playlist. It'll all be under that. Same thing with all the others. And then the 3 things moving forward will be Speak Your Geek. And again, there's no schedule, just whenever I can talk about stuff. And this is for the next 3 months. Speak Your Geek, and then Map Gaming, which is the gaming streams, and then the Flavoursaw reviews, which is right now is one a month, one every other month. It depends on how quickly we can build up the community for that. Who do you think could die in the finale season? I'm not going to get into predictions. As far as like many predictions, I might tell you who could die in the finale. And again, this does get tricky now because the very kickoff of the season could change the direction of everyone's story. I really don't know. I mean, Jonathan could be just for them to give Nancy an out to get back with Steve. Honestly, they could just, plug him out. That would also benefit impacting Will to some degree, motivating him, giving him a part in the story to push forward to some degree. As far as killing 11, I don't see that. Killing Mike just seems, it leaves the ending too bleak. Just again, because he's kind of the heart and kicked it off. Even killing Dustin just kind of feels pointless at this time, up until it kicks off and we know the direction they're going to go. We don't even know if Vecna is going to slowly try to take over or if he's just going to show up and shit's going to hit the fan. I mean, we have no clue. So I don't know. Predictions I always hate. If I don't have some, maybe that's what I should do. If I'm not feeling it, I don't have a prediction. Right now, I'm just not feeling it, death-wise. I don't even think they'll do a death in the final season. Do you think, at this time, of course, do you think some of the OG casts will die in season 5? I think I just answered that as well. I think if we were going to have a death, it probably would have been in season 4, but you never know. Keep in mind, because in season 4, boom, there's one person that's down. It solidifies the show is dark and gritty and this, that, and a third. The end of the seasons when they already paid the actor. They're going to end it, and ending it on such a down vibe at this time, I don't think is what they're going for. Like Mike used to be the heart, Will was right, but then during season 3 and 4, they made him cold. His arc is a kid who gave so much but lost too much, so stopped caring, but he gets no screen time. Maybe. I won't be kill Nancy or Jonathan. They bore me. I like the actor who plays Nancy. I mean, she's more the investigative. I wasn't bored about that just because, again, she's a big part of her character is I'm curious. I want to look around. And again, I like that because it's sprung from the original season 1. What happened with her friend Barb? That kicked it off. She was just a normal little shithead high school kid trying to get a boy, And that turned into her friend going missing because of her wanting to hang out with the cute kid that she had a crush on. And her hunting for what happened, searching, turned her into an investigator. I love that. So I'm not bored with it. Not yet, anyway. I dig Nancy. How'd the group get out of the Upside Down? The portal fully split, so I don't know how exactly that works. Would have liked to see that. Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm not really sure exactly. As far as the very end, you mean? Yeah, Hopper went under a dumpster. Eddie Munson sounds like a serial killer name. It does. Practical effects of Vecna seem to top polished. P was still better to dry. Yeah, I don't know what you mean by P. Yeah, I don't know what you mean there, but I agree. The Vecna was awesome. Millie dissed the Dusser brothers, calling them sensitive Sallies because they don't kill off main characters. Duffer Bros said they have care and investments in main stories. Well, here's the thing is, again, we don't know what they might be visioning for a finale. If they want spin-offs, it matters on how dark they want it. I mean, they could literally be laughing, going, oh man, these people don't even know that we're about to kill the entire cast in the finale. And it's a big fucking twist to the spin-offs because for all we know, we're thinking of this is it and our heroes are going to win. Let's be honest. Season 5, this is it and 11 and them are going to win. The only thing that would shock us is if they fucking lose, When fucking Vecna says, you don't understand, you don't even see, this is the beginning of the end, you already lost. How crazy would it fucking be if he was right and they did lose? You right now, you don't believe that. None of you fucking do. Every one of us, even me included, I believe, we all believe, sure, they're in trouble, but they're gonna fucking find a way. and they'll defeat them for the end of the season and end of the series for the original series. The greatest twist would be to pull something that none of us would think they would do. And I don't think that they're capable. I don't think that story wouldn't work. I think you can have an amazing, incredible, unforgettable story, but I just don't think, one, I don't think they'll take the risk because it's a franchise. Two, I'm not even sure the masses are ready for it. Keep in mind, at one point in time, the masses said The Thing was a terrible movie. It's one of the fucking greatest body horror movies ever. It's a fucking classic. We do that all the time where we go, ha ha, that's shit. And then 5 years later, we're like, I was wrong. That's awesome, you know? Anyway, I think they do have to ride a fine line between keeping the mood, but being dark is kind of where it's headed. I mean, the Upside Down is no bullshit. I mean, that's some serious dark shit. It's supposed to be anyhow. So maybe they will kill someone. I'm hoping something interesting happens at least. They bit Nova. How did Hopper get the sword? They threw the weapons in there to make the people who fought the Demogorgons feel like they had a chance. Yeah, them climbing a rope is bullshit. Even Nancy, I love Nancy, but she's not climbing a fucking rope. Get out of here. You know what I mean? I tried that shit when I was 12, and I'm not climbing no fucking rope. I was a skinny little thing. I didn't like how Season 4 trailer basically spoiled that Hopper didn't die. I guess post-credit scene in Season 3 hints at him being in the prison. That whole thing was clunky. Yeah, here's the thing. It was clunky with Hopper. Because the moment he went out like that, I was in disbelief. And the minute they were like, oh, that's the American, a lot of us were like, yeah, that's Hopper. Fuck out of here. I mean, they're not going to kill him. Come on now. And I think they ruined it with that line itself. And so many people were convinced that was Hopper. I feel like they just said, fuck it. Let's show them a teaser of Hopper. They already fucking know. So yeah, I think again, I don't agree with the ending of Season 3. I don't agree with them moving. I don't agree with Hopper getting taken to Russia. I think that was a fail. But what the Duffer Brothers have done, I will give them credit for. 1, 2, 3, and 4, the majority of it is fantastic. The greatest fail was Season 3 ending, in my opinion. Why do you think Strange Things is set in the 80s? Why not the 90s? Why do you think they made that choice creatively? Because everybody who was living through the 80s and born in the 80s, they're the people majority consuming the content today. They're the ones that majority have the kids consuming the content today. And that is like the key demographic. If you want the people born in the 90s, probably wait a little bit longer and then toss it out and you're going to hit that key demographic. I mean, I fit, and again, it's going to range. I fit perfectly in that demographic. I was born in the 80s. And I have a daughter that's 12 turning 13. We both watch and love Stranger Things. So I mean, it's the perfect timing. Not only that, before, when kids that were born in the 80s, like I got a Nintendo when I was 5, I think, and it was like new. I mean, it was already out on the market for a few years, but to us it was like I didn't even understand it. I was that young that this was new. You didn't have video games that you can play at your house. You either went to an arcade at the mall or the pizza shop. I mean, this was some new tech, you know? But anyway, it's just the timing was perfect. It was fucking perfect. It still is for the next few years. And then again, you want to get into 90s. You can do that. If you wait, I'd say 5 more years or so, for the next 5 to 15 years, 90s stuff is probably going to be fire. We already see the 90s t-shirts in Target and Walmart, MTV, and all this other advertisement t-shirts. What was your favorite aspects of the season, Ronnie? Writing, acting, pacing? My favorite aspect? Well, it's hard to pick the acting over the writing because it's the writing that gives the acting the foundation. I don't know if I'd be able to pick it like that. I think my favorite aspect, honestly, is consistency. That's one thing I really do enjoy about Stranger Things, is no matter how I'm feeling, there's a consistency to it. I haven't found an episode yet where I'm like, this is absolutely fucking terrible. These characters suck. I hate everything. Not one episode, not yet. Let me hurry this up a bit. How many time jumps do we expect to see going forward, or will it pick up right where it left off from season 4? Let me get rid of this because we weren't. I do appreciate you gaming. I think you left, but I wasn't really supposed to keep tips on the screen for these types of videos. But how many time jumps did we expect to see going forward, or will it pick up right where it left off? I don't know. I mean, from the article I read, it was supposed to go directly into season 5, but now I don't know, because they're not filming season 5 right after. I don't know when they're filming. So I would expect at least one time jump to some degree. I think crazy see what Vecna. I mean, what's the point if the characters in the show now they're mothers? I'm not sure what you mean there. I mean, what's the point if the characters in the show? Do you mean what's the point of the characters in the show? Now the mothers are more than mothers? It's so random. I'm not sure what you mean. Duffer Brothers said that Will is going to be the center of season 5 with the story coming full circle and now new characters. I would like that. Story-wise and structure-wise, I would like that. If they pull it off in a good way, hoping. I mean, like I said, the consistency has been there, so... And no new characters, they'll all be together in Hawkins. That's the way to go. They've already fluffed it up enough. I mean, you can have new outside characters, not new like Eddie type characters. Just give us, we already got all of them. You know, give us all of them, do some shit, and I'm down for that. That sounds great. Kuna, do you think the government will get involved? Yeah, I feel like they've always been partially involved. So far, it's just been limited to the locals. Seems like news all over. I got the impression the government's involved. I mean, that was the government that attacked 11 at the outpost. Or that underground bunker. Unless I have it wrong. Yeah, I agree. All right, we're over an hour, so let me skim through the last comments and let's get it shut down. Most of it is, I appreciate the convo, but most of it isn't even about season 4 anymore. Everyone's just talking about what's coming up next, which I understand, because that was the biggest content in The Walking Dead, is what's next. You know, everyone wants to talk about what's coming up. I'm there too. I just want to make sure I can keep us on topic here. Let me skim through the comments and we'll shut this down. I do appreciate you guys hanging out. I don't know if these are going to catch on. Not for the long run. In 3 months, we got a little window where we're going to be doing these mixed with gaming streams, as well as one a month edited movie reviews, we'll call them, Flaw vs. All. If you haven't seen those, check those out. We're doing horror movies right now, but why would they put so much effort into making Will gay and having a feeling for Mike? I don't know. I don't believe that's what they're... Excel, I already talked about that. I personally don't think that's what they're doing. The internet claims it is. I think they're nuts. What is the meaning behind your title here? I mean, we just watch the beginning of the stream, I guess. I don't know how else to tell you. It's the whole video topic. I enjoyed season 4, except for Hopper's storyline. Felt like the way they kept the shows. I agree with you there. The Hopper one is like... clues is fine. Oh, Stephen King's Talisman. Oh, I didn't think about that, but yeah, imagine 11 getting stuck in the Upside Down. That'd be fucked up. Yeah, they can't time jump too much, I don't think. I don't know if they're even gonna incorporate 8 back into the story. They might save her for a spinoff. I don't know, because the majority of fans didn't like 8. I didn't mind that part of the story. Do you think Will or Will shouldn't have powers in season 5? I don't think anyone else should have powers, no. COVID definitely impacted the show for me. Aren't the main kids supposed to be like 14 in season 4? And most of them are going into their 20s. No. The kids are split up. I don't agree with that. The kids are close in age to where they're supposed to be in this. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. The kids are a little older than they're supposed to be in the story. However, that's all of Hollywood. For one, it's unavoidable. But for two, the other characters like Nancy and Steve, and yeah, they were always way older. I mean, Nancy was like a full-grown fucking adult. She looks like her age, though. So, I mean, it fits. Close enough, again, for Hollywood standards. But yeah, the actors are a little older. But I don't think it, at this time, is too bad. I mean, it's kind of pushing the line. It is. But it's close. It is. Because I think they have them in what, 11th grade or something? 12th grade now? And what are they? In beginning college? So they're like end of high school. So it's like right on the money. Some of them, though, are older. I give you that. It's a bit mixed, though. I mean, coming off how silly season 3 with the Russians and the fake Terminator, I love season 4. Yeah, I love the idea of using Terminator because, you know, it was huge in the 80s. However, I didn't like how they did it. I didn't hate it. I just felt like it was underwhelming, underused, or not used properly. I thought the ending of season 4 was fire. I could have done a little more with the fighting, a little more of an intense, you know, fucking throwdown. But we still have season 5. All right, have a good one, Ronnie. I'm out too. I'm just getting the last couple comments here. I'll be showing for the broader audience. Probably Joe, LOL. Which season was my favorite so far? Season 1. Yeah, Jonathan's actor definitely seems like he's aged more than his character should, but I think that's because he honestly, and this is kind of out of his grasp, he honestly looked his age. He looked younger, you know, than his age. He looked like a tiny little kid in season 1. So unfortunately, going from 1 to now, and I think being a parent and looking at all my friends and their kids, I mean, my friend had his little kid. Last time we saw him was a few years ago. Little guy about this tall. He's like 6'2" now. He's like a full-grown man, and it's only been like 4 years. You know, he went from being like, you know, this tall to 6'2". I have family members like that, and it's like, so when you see that in real life, it's kind of like, God damn, movies get ridiculous with age, but sometimes in real life, those motherfuckers sprout, you know? What do you think about the end of season 4? I liked it. I just spent an hour, or watch the first 20 minutes. That'll be my deeper explanation. Dear Billy is the favorite of your... Yeah, Dear Billy was solid. Bitnova, somebody was pretending to be you? That's weird. Thanks, Doomsday's Crypt, for banning them. Well, with that, I'm going to shut it down. I do want to desperately keep it close to an hour. Let's get out of here. I will see you guys tomorrow for a gaming stream. We have some other stuff coming up. But thank you so much for the support. And next podcast will be about The Boys. I don't know if that's Monday or Tuesday. Let's shoot for around Tuesday. But I'll see you then. Be safe and good night.